photos up, and there was a photo in there of Meghan Markle and with Harry in the background, and somehow it's gone away.
Kim Kardashian, Kris Jenner, they posted these pictures, and within hours, they had pulled down and deleted.
What lunatic poses for a photo with a Kardashian and thinks it's not going to get posted?
Why are we alive? You know.
Kim Kardashian just did something she almost never does. She hit delete. And listen, when someone who's built an empire on sharing every second of her life suddenly erases a photo, that's not an accident. That's a message. The picture? Meghan Markle standing right next to her at what was supposed to be one of Hollywood's biggest nights. But here's where it gets wild. Within minutes, that photo vanished like it never even existed. Fans caught screenshots, the internet exploded, and suddenly everyone was asking the same question: what made Kim Kardashian delete Meghan Markle from her life? Because trust me, this wasn't just about bad lighting or a messy background. This was about something way bigger. Something that showed exactly where Meghan stands in Hollywood right now. And honestly, it's brutal. Before we dive into what really happened that night, go ahead and hit that subscribe button and smash the like. Because what I'm about to reveal gets so much messier than just a deleted photo. Turn on those notifications too. You're not going to want to miss how this whole thing unraveled. Trust me, the details are wild. Let's get into it. So let's set the scene. Kris Jenner's turning 70, and this isn't some backyard barbecue with a store-bought cake. We're talking Jeff Bezos' mansion James Bond theme, the kind of party where billionaires show up in tuxedos. Like, it's just another Tuesday. Everyone who's anyone in Hollywood was there, and the energy? Absolutely electric. People gliding through gold-trimmed entryways, champagne flowing like water, influencers fighting for the best angles while pretending they're not, moguls laughing over deals that'll probably hit the news next week. The whole place felt like power, money, and status wrapped up in one incredible night. It was that kind of party. The kind where even being on the guest list means you've made it. And then Meghan Markle walks in. Here's the thing, she strolled through those doors with the kind of confidence you only see in someone who genuinely believes the cameras will follow them no matter what. You could almost see her expecting the room to shift, for heads to turn, for someone to rush over and make her the center of attention. She expected applause, maybe some whispers of excitement, definitely a few headlines the next morning about her surprise appearance, but the room
To this thing was they had hired like the best paparazzi in the business to take photos of all the guests coming in.
Yes.
The room barely paused. Like, seriously, barely noticed. A-listers kept catching up with each other. The Kardashians were too busy actually enjoying the night with people they wanted to be around, and Meghan just sort of floated there. Her outfit was polished, don't get me wrong, clearly thought out and expensive, but it didn't sync with that glossy, unapologetically powerful Kardashian vibe everyone else was radiating. She looked ready for attention that simply wasn't coming. Now, Harry? Listen, this man looked like he was mentally counting down the seconds until he could leave and pretend this whole thing never happened. He's standing there looking uncomfortable, shifting his weight, eyes wandering around the room like he's searching for the nearest exit. It's that look you get when you've wandered into the wrong event and can't figure out how to politely excuse yourself without making it obvious. People at the party started whispering to each other, leaning in close, and genuinely asking whether the two of them were even supposed to be there. Because their entrance didn't feel like a VIP arrival where everyone stops and takes notice. It felt more like two people who followed someone else through the door and were just hoping nobody would question it or ask to see their actual invitation. The Kardashians didn't rush over to greet them with open arms. Kris didn't stop what she was doing for a photo op or that signature momager energy, the Jenners. Completely unbothered, carrying on with their conversations, like nothing had changed. No one circled around them asking how they've been or trying to get that perfect group shot. It was like they were ghosts at their own appearance. And get this, Meghan and Harry were there for maybe 10 minutes. 10 minutes total. Just long enough for Meghan to scan the room, take in the vibe, realize she wasn't going to be the main character in this story, and bounce before anyone could even ask why they showed up in the first place. They drifted through the space with this incredibly awkward energy, like when you show up somewhere expecting applause, validation, maybe even a standing ovation, and instead you get polite nods and people immediately going back to their conversations like you're not even there. But honestly,
Keep trying, Meghan. Keep trying to compete with somebody who does not think about you at all and is so...
their quick, almost embarrassing exit wasn't even the wildest part of the night. What happened after they left is what really set everything off and got the entire internet talking. So here's where things get interesting. After Meghan and Harry made their quick exit from the party, Kim did what Kim does. She started posting. And for a brief, shining moment, there it was, a photo. Kim Kardashian standing next to Meghan Markle. The kind of picture Meghan probably dreams about, right? Her standing shoulder to shoulder with one of the most powerful women in Hollywood at one of the most exclusive events of the year. For someone who's been trying to claw her way back into Hollywood's good graces, this was gold. This was validation. This meant she still belonged in those circles. Fans saw it pop up on their feeds and immediately started screen recording, screenshotting, saving it like they knew something was about to happen. And honestly, their instincts were spot on. Because within minutes, and I mean minutes, that photo vanished. Gone. Wiped clean from Kim's Instagram like it never even existed in the first place. 1 second it's there, the next second people are refreshing their feeds going, wait, did I imagine that? But no, they didn't imagine it. The screenshots were already circulating, showing the photo was real and that Kim had actually posted it. Now here's the thing about Kim Kardashian. She doesn't just accidentally delete stuff. This is a woman who's built a literal empire on social media. Every post is calculated, every caption is thought out, every photo is edited and approved and timed for maximum engagement. Her Instagram isn't just a feed, it's a business strategy. She doesn't wake up one morning and go, oops, didn't mean to post that. When Kim deletes something, it's intentional. It's a choice. And that choice usually means something. For a family that monetizes literally every single second of their lives, I'm talking about people who've turned their morning coffee into sponsored content. Deleting a photo is basically a statement. It's the digital equivalent of uninviting someone from your inner circle. Kim curates her grid like it's a museum, where every image has to fit the aesthetic.
Prince Harry and Meghan Markle crashed Kris Jenner's 70th birthday. Okay, so Kris Jenner, she had this big 70th birthday.
The brand, the vibe she's selling to her millions of followers. And apparently, Meghan standing next to her didn't make the cut. The photo got scrubbed faster than you could say post and delete, and suddenly everyone was asking the same question. Why? Was it the lighting? Did Meghan's outfit clash with Kim's look? Did the photo mess with the carefully crafted visual flow of Kim's feed? Or, and this is where it gets really interesting, did someone request the deletion? Because let's be real, if there's one person in Hollywood who obsesses over every single photo of herself, who analyzes angles and lighting and placement like it's a full-time job, it's Meghan. She's the type to zoom in on photos, check how she looks from every possible angle, and probably has a whole team reviewing images before they go public. People started theorizing immediately. Some thought Kim just realized the photo didn't fit her vibe. Others figured the Kardashians didn't want any drama attached to their perfectly curated night. And then there were the people saying Meghan herself might have asked for it to be taken down after seeing it and realizing it didn't show her in the exact way she wanted. Whatever the reason, one thing became crystal clear. That deleted photo was about to become the most talked about image that technically doesn't exist anymore. Now, this is where the story takes a turn that honestly makes the whole night even more awkward. Because as the photo drama was unfolding online, people who were actually at the party started talking. And what they were saying? It wasn't great for Meghan and Harry. Guests were apparently leaning over to each other throughout the night, whispering the same question over and over. Wait, who invited them? Not in a mean way necessarily, but in a genuinely confused way. Like nobody could figure out why they were there or who thought it was a good idea to bring them along. See, when you're at an event like this, we're talking top-tier Hollywood royalty, the kind of party where the guest list gets approved weeks in advance. You know who's supposed to be there. People recognize each other. They expect certain faces. And when someone shows up unexpectedly, especially someone as high profile as Meghan and Harry, it raises eyebrows. The whispers weren't just gossip for the sake of gossip.
We didn't think a Kardashian party would be like this. What on earth did you think a Kardashian party would be?
People were legitimately trying to figure out if they missed something, if there was some connection they didn't know about, or if the couple had somehow just appeared. Their whole entrance had this weird energy to it. You know that feeling when you're at a party and someone walks in and you can just tell they're not really supposed to be there? That's what insiders said it felt like. It wasn't dramatic or confrontational. It was just off. Like watching two people follow someone else through the VIP entrance and then hoping nobody stops them to check names on a list. Meghan walked in with her head high. That confident stride, like she belonged there, like the room should be grateful she showed up. But the validation she was clearly expecting, it never came. And here's what makes it even more telling. The Kardashians didn't circle around them. Kris didn't rush over with that big momager smile. Kim didn't pull them aside for a quick catch-up. The Jenners kept doing their thing, laughing with their actual friends, taking photos with people they genuinely wanted to be around. There was no acknowledgement, no, oh my gosh, you made it moment. It was the social equivalent of being left on read. Meghan and Harry were physically in the room, but they might as well have been invisible. Listen, we've all been to a party where we realized we didn't quite fit in, right? But imagine that feeling amplified by 1,000 because you're surrounded by cameras, influencers, and people who literally built their careers on knowing exactly who matters in Hollywood. That's what this was. Meghan showed up assuming she'd be treated like the main character, like her presence alone would shift the energy of the room. Instead, she got the treatment you give to someone's plus one who you don't really know, but you're too polite to ask to leave. The whole thing started looking less like a planned appearance and more like an attempt to be seen in the right place with the right people. And honestly, when you're trying that hard to look like you belong somewhere, it usually means you don't. The party kept going, the Kardashians kept celebrating, and Meghan and Harry just kind of existed in the background until they quietly slipped out after those 10 minutes. But the internet? The internet was just getting started with this story. So the photos deleted, Meghan and Harry have already left the party.
Well, and so who shows up and then scolds the host, the birthday girl, for having the photo with them? It's like, then don't post.
And you'd think that would be the end of it, right? Wrong. Because the moment that image disappeared from Kim's feed, the internet absolutely lost it. Like people went full detective mode faster than you can refresh your Instagram. Within literal minutes, screenshots started flooding every social media platform you can think of. Twitter, TikTok, Reddit, Facebook groups dedicated to celebrity gossip. Everyone had receipts. People were posting side-by-side comparisons showing Kim's grid before and after, circling where the photo used to be like it was the biggest mystery of the year. TikTok creators had an absolute field day with this. They were breaking down the timeline frame by frame, analyzing the exact second Meghan got edited out of the night's narrative. Some of them put together these dramatic videos with suspenseful music, zooming in on the empty spot where the photo used to live, adding captions like, She was here and then she wasn't. It became this whole thing where people were treating the deletion like it was the biggest mystery of the year. And honestly, for celebrity gossip, it kind of was. Meanwhile, the official Kardashian-Jenner recap posts started going live. You know how they do those glossy photo dumps after big events, showing off all the best moments, the outfits, the celebrity interactions, everything that made the night special? Yeah, those posts went up. And guess who was nowhere to be found? Not a single trace of Meghan or Harry. It was like they'd been completely erased from the entire evening. The recaps showed Kris looking incredible, the Jenner sisters serving looks, celebrity guests mingling and having the time of their lives. But Meghan and Harry vanished, like they were never even there. Get this, PR analysts actually started weighing in on the situation. These are people who study celebrity branding for a living, and they were all saying the same thing. The Kardashians never delete content without a reason. Never. These aren't people who post something and then go, oops, my bad, 5 minutes later. Every single thing they share is part of a bigger strategy. So when they remove something, especially something involving another high-profile person, it's sending a message. And the message here seemed pretty clear.
So Kim posted a photo with her and Meghan. She put it up and quickly took it down. So my feeling is obviously
Whatever that photo represented, it wasn't something the Kardashian brand wanted to be associated with. But honestly, the best part of the whole internet meltdown was the memes. Oh my gosh, the memes were brutal. Poor Harry became the center of so many jokes, with people saying he looked like a confused +1 to his own life. Or like someone's dad who got dragged to a party he didn't want to attend. There were side-by-side photos of him at royal events looking miserable, and him at this party looking equally miserable, with captions like same energy, different continent. People started making jokes about how he went from palaces to being ignored at a Kardashian party, and the internet absolutely ran with it. Then someone dug up something that made the whole situation even more interesting. Apparently, just before this party, Meghan and Harry had been at Serena Williams' event. And at that event, they'd actually demanded to have photos taken. Like, specifically requested it. So the contrast was wild. 1 minute they're asking for pictures to be taken and posted. The next minute they're getting deleted from someone else's feed entirely. People started comparing the two situations, pointing out how different the reception was. At Serena's event, they were welcomed. At the Kardashian party, they were erased. The internet loves that kind of drama, and honestly, you couldn't write a better story if you tried. What made everything even more chaotic was how fast this all happened. We're talking hours. The photo went up, came down, screenshots went viral, think pieces got written, memes got created, and suddenly everyone from casual Instagram users to major gossip sites was talking about it. That's the thing about the internet these days. Nothing stays quiet. You can try to delete something, but once it's out there forever. And in this case, the deletion ended up creating way more attention than if Kim had just left the photo up in the first place. Now, while all this chaos was happening online, something else was going on behind the scenes in Hollywood. And this is what really matters in the long run, because the internet can meme you into oblivion. But it's the people actually working in the entertainment industry whose opinions really shape your career. And those people were definitely talking.
Because when you've got that many millions of followers, there's no point deleting something. You know, every newsroom is downloaded.
See, Hollywood has this whisper network that runs through agents, publicists, brand strategists, PR handlers, all the people who work behind the curtain making careers happen. And when a photo gets deleted and someone gets essentially erased from a major event, those whispers start spreading fast. People in conference rooms, at lunch meetings, during phone calls, they're all discussing the same thing. What does this mean? And more importantly, what does it say about where Meghan stands right now? Here's what they were saying, and trust me, it wasn't pretty. the general consensus among people who actually make decisions in this town. Meghan isn't bringing the kind of heat Hollywood wants right now. In Hollywood, you're either adding value or you're not. You're either someone who generates excitement, opportunities, money, or you're someone who brings complications. And lately, Meghan's been falling into that second category. Let's look at the track record, right? The Spotify deal that everyone was so hyped about. It fell apart. Netflix put out content with them, but the reactions were lukewarm at best. And then there's been this constant rebranding, this endless cycle of trying to figure out what works, what sticks, what actually resonates with people. But so far, nothing really has. Now, here's the thing about the Kardashians. They don't just run their image like a brand. They run it like a Fortune 500 company. Every partnership is calculated. Every association is strategic. They're incredibly selective about who gets to be in their orbit because they understand that your associations either elevate your brand or drag it down. There's no in between. So when the Kardashians quietly distance themselves from someone, everyone in Hollywood notices. It's not loud, it's not dramatic, but it's definitive. Other celebrities see it. Brands see it. Studios see it. It's like a domino effect. Once one major player steps back, others start reconsidering their positions too. The conversation in those industry circles wasn't mean or personal. It was just honest. People were acknowledging what's been pretty obvious for a while now, that Meghan's attempts to rebuild her Hollywood relevance haven't been landing the way she hoped they would. That 10-minute appearance at the Kardashian party.
Kris and Kim both deleted them. Right. The only reason they would do that if there was a request from Harry and Meghan.
Industry insiders joked it was probably the most effort she's put into networking in years. And even that couldn't move the needle. And look, Hollywood is brutal, but it's also practical. This town runs on momentum. You're either rising, maintaining, or falling. And right now, the whispers all pointed to the same conclusion. Meghan's falling. Not in a catastrophic way, but in that slow, quiet way where opportunities start drying up, where invitations become less frequent, where your calls don't get returned as quickly as they used to. So, while the internet was going wild and Hollywood insiders were quietly updating their mental notes, what was actually happening behind closed doors? Because here's the thing, for someone who's built their entire post-royal life around carefully managing their public image, having a photo deleted by Kim Kardashian isn't just embarrassing, it's personal. According to people close to the situation, Meghan did not take this well. And honestly, can you blame her? She walked into that party with a plan. This was supposed to be strategic. Show up at the right event, get photographed with the right people, remind everyone that she's still part of Hollywood's elite circle. That photo with Kim was supposed to be a win. So when it vanished, sources say she felt completely blindsided. Like, imagine spending time getting ready, showing up to this massive party, positioning yourself next to one of the most powerful women in entertainment, getting that perfect shot, and then boom, it's gone. For someone like Meghan, who reportedly analyzes every single photo of herself like it's a strategic asset, this wasn't just a random Instagram post disappearing. This was a calculated move by someone she probably thought would be an ally. People familiar with how she operates say she was genuinely confused at first. She thought the picture looked good. Flattering lighting, decent angle, nothing obviously wrong with it. In her mind, this was exactly the kind of content that should help boost her Hollywood positioning. So when Kim took it down, the question wasn't just why, it was, what does this mean for me? And then there's Harry. According to sources, when Meghan realized the photo was gone and started spiraling about what it meant, Harry tried to downplay the whole thing. You know, the classic, it's not a big deal, don't worry about it approach, which, let's be real, has never worked in the history of relationships when someone is genuinely upset about something.
Prince Harry's ultimate shame as he puts the Kardashians before the veterans who he claims.
Telling Meghan that a deleted photo from Kim Kardashian isn't a big deal, that's like throwing gasoline on a fire. Because for Meghan, this isn't just about social media, it's about control. She's someone who's known for taking her media presence incredibly seriously. Every angle matters. Every filter choice matters. She treats her public image like a strategic operation because, in her world, that image is everything. It's her brand, her value, her ticket to staying relevant in an industry that moves on from people faster than you can say, what happened to them? So, when that photo got deleted, it wasn't just the loss of a picture, it was a loss of control over her narrative. This deletion came from the Kardashians, a family that basically wrote the playbook on using social media to build an empire. If they're saying no to associating with you publicly, that's not just a random decision. That's a statement about your value in their ecosystem. The part that probably stung the most, the implication. It wasn't that the photo was bad. It was that the association itself wasn't worth keeping. And when you're someone who's been working overtime to prove you still belong in Hollywood's inner circle, having one of the most influential families in entertainment essentially say, actually, we're good without you, through a simple delete button, that's rough. So let's zoom out for a second and look at what this whole thing actually represents. Because it's not really about one deleted photo, is it? It's about what that deletion symbolized to everyone watching, especially to the people who actually matter in Hollywood. That image disappearing became this weird cultural moment that said way more than any statement or interview ever could. Here's the reality: that photo became a symbol. Not a dramatic one, not some scandalous moment, just a simple, clear indicator of where Meghan actually stands in the entertainment industry right now. And the symbol was understood immediately by everyone who works in this business. You didn't need someone to explain it. You didn't need a press release breaking it down. The message was crystal clear. The Kardashians, America's most powerful influencer family, looked at an association with Meghan Markle and decided it wasn't worth keeping on their feed.
That there was an ask to post photos by one party and then an ask to take them down.
That's it. That's the whole story. And look, there's a harsh truth that comes with that. Meghan went from being someone Hollywood was curious about, someone who could have potentially been a major player, to being an optional cameo that nobody's really fighting for anymore. Like, remember when she first stepped away from royal life and everyone was wondering what she'd do next? There was genuine interest. Networks wanted to work with her. Brands were circling. People thought she could be the next big thing in Hollywood because she had this unique story, this platform, this built-in audience. But somewhere along the way, that interest cooled off. The opportunities started feeling more like obligations than exciting partnerships. Those 10 minutes at the Kardashian party, that was supposed to be networking, right? That was supposed to be her putting in effort, showing up, being seen with the right people. But here's the thing, effort without impact is just noise. She showed up, she got her moment next to Kim, and then what? Nothing. The photo got deleted. The party continued without them. Nobody missed them when they left. That's not networking. That's just being present and hoping proximity does the work for you. Because here's what Meghan seems to misunderstand about Hollywood. Proximity doesn't equal importance. You can stand next to the most powerful people in the industry. You can show up at the most exclusive events. You can position yourself in all the right places, but if you're not actually bringing something to the table, none of it matters. This town doesn't run on who you know or where you've been. It runs on what you can deliver. What can you generate? What value do you add? What makes people want to work with you instead of the 1,000 other people trying to do the exact same thing? The Kardashians understand this better than almost anyone. They've built their empire on being incredibly strategic about their brand. And part of that strategy is knowing what to say yes to and what to walk away from. They don't get involved with drama they can't monetize. They don't attach themselves to people or situations that could potentially damage their carefully built reputation. And associating with Meghan right now. That apparently felt like a liability rather than an asset. Not because of anything dramatic or personal, but because the business calculation just didn't add up.
People magazine reported that the Duke and Duchess of Sussex never agreed to take photos inside the party.
Think about it from their perspective. What does the Kardashian brand get from being publicly connected to Meghan? More attention, they have that already. More influence, they're doing fine. More drama, they definitely don't need that. Especially the kind that doesn't translate into something productive for them. The Kardashians are allergic to complications that don't come with clear benefits. Every partnership they enter, every person they align with, has to make sense from a business standpoint, and in this case, it just didn't. What this whole situation really showed is that Meghan's attempts to rebuild her Hollywood relevance have been hitting walls. Not big, dramatic walls, just consistent resistance projects that don't take off the way they should. Appearances that don't generate the buzz she's hoping for. Partnerships that fizzle out before they gain momentum. And now getting erased from a photo by someone who could have been a powerful ally. It's the accumulation of all these little moments that paint a bigger picture about where she actually is in the industry versus where she thinks she is or where she's trying to be. Hollywood is watching all of this happen. And when someone like Kim Kardashian, who's mastered the art of building and protecting a brand, quietly steps back and says, "No thanks," through a simple delete button, everyone else pays attention. That's not shade, that's not drama, that's just business. And the business is saying that right now, Meghan Markle isn't the investment people thought she might be. So here we are at the end of this whole saga, and honestly, it's kind of wild how much one deleted photo can say without saying anything at all. Kim Kardashian hit a button, removed an image from her feed, and suddenly everyone in Hollywood understood exactly what that meant. No statement needed, no explanation required. The message was received loud and clear. What this whole night showed us is that Meghan walked into Kris Jenner's birthday party expecting validation, wanting her moment, hoping to prove she still belongs in Hollywood's inner circle. Instead, she got erased. Not in some dramatic confrontational way, just quietly, efficiently, like someone tidying up their brand and deciding what doesn't fit. And the Kardashians don't make those decisions lightly. When they step back from an association, it's calculated. It's strategic. It's business. The harsh reality that came out of all this, proximity doesn't equal importance.
Kim Kardashian has had enough. This complete debacle of Prince Harry and Meghan.
You can stand next to the most powerful people in entertainment. You can show up at the most exclusive parties. You can position yourself in all the right photo ops. But if you're not bringing actual value to the table, none of it matters. Hollywood doesn't care about where you've been or who you used to be. This town cares about what you can do right now, today, and whether working with you makes sense from every angle, creative, financial, and reputation-wise. Meghan's been trying so hard to rebuild her Hollywood status, to prove she's still relevant, connected, and someone who matters in this industry. But that deleted photo became a symbol of something she's probably been feeling for a while now. The doors aren't opening the way they used to. The interest has cooled. Her name doesn't carry the weight she thought it would. And when America's most powerful influencer family looks at you and decides you're not worth the association, everyone else in Hollywood sees that they take notes. They adjust accordingly. This wasn't just about a bad photo or messy lighting. This was about the Kardashians sending a signal that the entire entertainment industry understood immediately. And that signal was pretty simple. We're good without this connection. We don't need this energy. This doesn't align with our brand. And in Hollywood, where your brand is everything, that kind of rejection cuts deeper than any headline ever could. So, yeah, Meghan showed up hoping for validation and walked out erased. And the internet, Hollywood, and probably everyone watching this video right now gets exactly what that means. If you made it this far, thanks for sticking around. This whole situation was honestly too good not to break down. If you enjoyed this video, go ahead and hit that like button and make sure you're subscribed because we're covering Hollywood drama like this all the time. Drop a comment and let me know what you think. Was Kim right to delete that photo or was it too harsh? I'll see you in the next one.